Many thanks for staying with us. And now pandemonium broke out on Tuesday during the inauguration of the campaign of the All Progressives Congress at the Sky Park ground in Lagos as hoodlums invaded the venue. Some journalists sustained gunshot injuries during the clash, and the leader of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, Mr. Liu Akinsoya, aka MC Oluomo, was also stabbed during the clash. And joining us to discuss this is Tosin Nathaniel. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Now, Ify, I think you want to shoot the first shot.
Definitely, yes. Tosin, I would like to first of all find out if you saw the video of what played out at the APC campaign rally yesterday and how you would react to that. Okay,
thank you. I saw the video. I read the news reports. It was a sad one. A sad one because I believe that by now, Nigeria should have matured better in our electoral process. Campaigns are part of the electoral process. In fact, that is the only medium where the electorate will get to hear from their candidates. Some of these candidates don't come for debates. Some people go to campaign rallies, they want to hear from them, know their plans, how they want to solve some of the recurrent issues that they have in the society. But what happened yesterday was a disappointment in the sense that we reversed the gains of democracy. Because part of the earliest problem we had in the DNS 99 was when you have electoral thugs everywhere, especially in Oyo State. You have the Adedibo boys causing troubles everywhere. So we believe that with advancement of democracy in Nigeria in more than 16 years now, we should have done away with that. What happened yesterday was that we reversed the gain of democracy. We bring back thuggery into Lagos as a state. And it has exposed the political process to much danger.
Now, talking about strengthening our democracy, I was taken aback by the governor's reaction to that breakout of violence. Right at the very instant where they were wielding knives and machetes and guns, even at the sound of a gunshot, the governor just continued with his speech. And we also look at, this is the first time an inaugural campaign for Babajide Sanwo-Olu as well. Aren't you surprised that leaders of the APC, who are supposed to be people in charge of the state or are vying for that position, are not even concerned about the people? Instead, they just continue with business as usual.
I think I was surprised by the governor's action yesterday. The reason being that the governor was aware of the situation.
Tosin, sorry to cut you, but we just have a short clip over there.
Okay.
And now you can see how people are scampering for safety.
Yes.
And then you can also observe that journalists were still doing their job. I think that's why we have 4 journalists shot in the process. Now, how would you also react to the media?
Let's just bring Tosin back to the governor's reaction.
Yes.
Now, tell us about that expense sheet. Were you expecting that sort of reaction? You've talked about strengthening our democracy and having it be at a level where we can say we are growing.
Okay, the governor's reaction yesterday was too low by my standard. Too low because one is the chief security officer of the state. As a result, he himself is expected to maintain peace and order at that rally yesterday. 2, there was a crisis. He was expected to change the tone of his speech from canvassing from Gideolu to appeasing to these troublemakers. I watched the video. In fact, he was talking as if he weren't in that position. Maybe he was speaking on phone to them, but he witnessed this crisis firsthand.
But even if he had
appealed to them,
would he have made a difference if he had?
Yes. These people, you can talk to them. In fact, what is expected of him to do yesterday was to change the language to Yoruba and start talking to them in local languages. You talk to them, any boys,
in a language that will communicate to them.
A language that will communicate to them. Calm down, all the situation, we'll handle it. Oh, police officers, can you please move it to them? As the chief security officer of the state, he himself is expected to maintain peace and order. What happened yesterday was an insult not on the governor, but on the office of the governor.
So what does this situation and the governor's reaction say about the disposition of our leaders to curbing electoral violence?
It simply means they are not ready to curb it. They are not ready to curb it because some of these individuals that were fingered, especially yesterday, they were individuals that are very close to the state government. Some of them are known to have visited the governor several times. Some of them are even card-carrying members of the ruling party. So it will be very difficult to curb things that are being perpetrated by people that are close to you. There is this clash of interest there.
Now, Tosin, again, we look at our security apparatus. It took a while before the police and then individuals clothed, I think there were also army personnel as well. It took a while before they swung into action. Do we always have to wait for a chaotic situation? And in Nigeria today, do you think the security apparatus is prepared for campaigns and rallies when we have large numbers of people gathering?
I think what really happened yesterday was lack of intelligence gathering. Now, I've attended political rallies several times.
But we've had experiences over the years, so it's not a first-time rally.
What happened yesterday was a failure in intelligence gathering. Now, you as police officers, they were at that venue. Crisis at political rallies of such magnitude it's not a spontaneous issue. Okay? It will have started brewing a little bit under, maybe from little clash, they talk, they abuse each other. At that level, it is expected that the security apparatus at that moment, at that venue, whether the police or the Lagos State Neighborhood Security Corps or the Nigerian Army, they should have nipped it in the bud at that level. But what they did was that they did not do anything until the crisis went out of hand. And let me tell you this, at times, some of these crises do happen because police themselves, they can't even confront these individuals. Some of them, they came with guns, they came with charms, and some of them, as I've said earlier, they are close to security personnel. So when they see them fomenting troubles, they just stay away.
So how do we then begin to address this kind of situation if perhaps from what you just said, that the police may not even have the capacity or the equipment to even confront them? You know, because that means that they are brazen, they are unafraid, they can't even, fear anybody. How do we then begin to stem electoral violence playing out?
Okay, the first thing to do is make sure that the electoral process is free and fair. Electoral violence don't happen in a day. It's a combination. It's a combination of several activities. Now, an individual we purchase form for election. This individual paid about 5 million naira. He was screened out, not even allowed to go for primaries. Even if he was allowed to go for primaries, the primaries was not free and fair. Some of these things keeps piling up. So some of them, they've written to the party several times for redress. Nothing was done. So they believe that the best place they can pass their message in a violent manner is the campaign venue. So if you want us to stem the tide of electoral violence, the electoral process too must be free and fair. And when we say electoral process should be free and fair, it's not about voting. It starts from selection of candidates. Some individuals, in fact, in Nigeria, some individuals, they will be in Abuja on the day their primary election is taking place in Osogbo. They will not come for primary election and they will be declared winner. So how do you accept that system? So if you want to stem the tide of electoral violence, electoral process must be free and fair, and it must start from selection of candidates.
Now, Tosin, let's take a few steps back to the source of the whole breakout of violence. What was the NURTW doing there and the intention to break out violence? And do we always have to resort to violence? Because this was supposed to be a peaceful gathering. Remember, this is a rally. This is a campaign. You're supposed to pitch your tent, tell us what you have in stock for the average Lagosian, and then it's an opportunity to perpetrate violence. How do we marry these two realities in Nigeria today?
Okay, starting from your first point, NURTW in Lagos is like a subset of the ruling party, and it's the same in all the ties of federation. When you have a party in power today, let's say PDP, you have an NURTW chairman. The moment a new party takes office, less than 2 hours after the inauguration of the new governor, they will remove the chairman. There is what they call taking over the garage process. It's always a violence manner. They go to garage, destroy so many buses, scare people away. You have a new chairman. So it is expected that the NURTW chairman must be loyal to the party in power, not even the state government.
He was this time the target. He was stabbed in the neck or so.
Yes. The man that was stabbed in the neck yesterday, MC Lomo, he himself is a card-carrying member of APC Noshodi. So, because NURTW has infused itself into the state government, it is difficult to manage their crisis. That's one. Second question that you asked, that why must you always resort to violence? As I've said it earlier, the reason why people will always resort to violence is because there is no room for dialogue and consultation. Okay, I'm an aggrieved member of APC now. I will write a letter to the party chairman. No response. They will set up a panel. Some of these panels come with premeditated outcomes. So as I've said, if the electoral process is not free and fair, especially selection of candidates, there will be problem. According to what I heard, I think yesterday I learned that there was a plan not to give a senatorial candidate a flag. Yesterday. I read about that online too. I don't know how true that is. So that's part of the ingredients for electoral violence. The moment the electoral process and candidate selection is not free and fair, you cannot stay away from crisis, because the only language that our leader seems to understand till now is violence. When you cause violence, you get attention. If you don't cause violence, they won't really give an attention.
And that seems to be a ticking time bomb, because if groups keep bringing their internal affairs to the campaign ground, won't we be seeing other outbreaks of violence during elections, don't you think?
It's always been like that. The same thing happened at APC National Headquarters some months back. Some people were there to protest violently against the national chairman based on issues that arise from their party primary. So we always have these problems coming up time and time again if the process is not free and fair.
Tosin, we have a quick video here where we're going to show you one of our reporters was on standby as at yesterday's attack, and here's the video clip.
Yeah, that's Olomo.
Caliber would have his own internal
People
worker or
surrounding
security
him, that's right.
personnel to move along with him.
Yes, they always have their boys, but the issue there is that people that are planning for you are not wiser than them.
But at this point, because I can see how he's being dragged all over the place, it shows that possibly his people are not around and he seems helpless.
That's one of the things that don't concern the failure of security. At this level, did you see any police officer in this video?
No.
Exactly the point.
No police officer is there, no army officer, not even the Lagos State-owned neighborhood security corps.
So would you say the police and army and other security personnel understand that these are supposed to be normal antics?
I think so. And they can't even influence, they can't even intervene in this kind of situation, because the people involved are stronger than them a little bit, because these are the people, these are the area boys that you see on the streets, that they themselves, they have zero respect for police officers. So there is no way police will intervene in this kind of crisis that happened yesterday. And as you can see, this is a very distasteful one.
Okay, if we have a situation where there's this magnitude of rancor and the security operatives cannot even step in and solve it, now leading up to the 2019 election, are we safe?
Well, I think this is a red flag. Red flag because if we have crisis at party campaigns at this level, and I think that was the inaugural campaign yesterday, and this man is expected to tour the whole 20 local government and 37
Of the state.
So if at the inaugural campaign you have this type of crisis, then the security report for 2019 election will be chilling by now. Chilling in the sense that there will be a lot of issues to confront with. And let me tell you this crisis will not end like this. For someone of Olomo caliber to have been stabbed yesterday, some of his boys, there will be a rebuke.
Yes, we have reports of Sergio, that's Mustafa Adekunle too, who was declared wanted for attempting to disrupt the rally.
Yes, I read the police released a statement concerning that yesterday night. So I don't know whether they've been able to apprehend him till now.
Thank you very much for your time, Tosin, and that's
so
all
much.
we can have you discuss on. We've been speaking with Tosin Adesina. He's a social commentator. Remember, the conversations continue right here at Plus TV Africa with the hashtag Nigeria Decides. Remember to follow us on all our social media platforms at Plus TV Africa. That's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can also watch us live on YouTube at Plus TV Africa. We'll be back in just a moment to stay with us.